What's good, family? Smash the like button and subscribe. Wow, what a mad last 2 weeks this has been. So, as you might have seen by the title, your boy the YB was informed today by one of his sleeper cell dons that Anthony, the cheek buster Joshua, is seriously looking at, if not imminently, gonna drop his WBO belt and therefore not relinquish it, relinquish it and not be obligated to fight Alexander Usyk. Now, people are saying, YB, obviously, my Patreon dons who get the news earlier, they're saying, YB, why is he going to do that for? It don't make no sense. Oh, YB, it's AJ ducking Usyk. Listen, let me tell you, man, something real quick. Yeah, let me tell you, man, something real quick. What we do know is, AJ is now, if you haven't noticed already, by his social media outlash, which I've been exclusively reporting on also over the last few days, AJ is getting to the point now where he's had enough. He's had enough, yeah, of giving so much to the sport and getting naffle back. I'm hearing things, people telling me, oh, YB, it's AJ's fault, it's Eddie Hearn's fault the Fury didn't fight because he should have known that just kind of madness, and AJ's hearing all this. My link, who told me that AJ's more or less done, that he's dropping WBO, said, listen, AJ's had enough of it all. He's had enough of the whole sport now. He's done with playing the rules, yeah? The rules, we've been all told the rules are, you get a belt, and you collect belts, and you become undisputed. Yeah? That's the game AJ's been playing for how long now? And how long have goofy dons, Fury, Wilder, scary looking asses, how long have they been playing some other game? Some weird goofy thing where they fight each other a million times, back to back to back to back. What is it, yeah? Wilder and Fury can get their thing signed in 2 minutes, literally. The biggest shock of the world gets done in, like normally, shocks or uncertainty, random events normally cause delays, wouldn't it? Wow, what? It's crazy. AJ and Fury have been working for 6 months. Wow, the massive shock of it, you'd think making the Wilder fight would be hard, wouldn't you? Bearing in mind they've allegedly been in court. I'm hearing now, we're not even sure they was in court. It might be all just been made up. Seriously. Obviously got some exclusive news coming soon, but bottom line is, yeah, we don't even know if the court was real. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? No one know. You haven't seen the BBC reporting leaving the court. No. Show me, in fact, tell you what to do. Show me some evidence the court thing exists. Can't see a lick of nothing. There's nothing nowhere. Anyway, what was I saying? Listen, bottom line is, whether there was a case or not, end of the day, they've been in court allegedly. They've been going. AJ's been working with Fury allegedly for 6 months trying to get this fight done. Fury and whatnot been in court. The massive alleged shock happens on Monday, and then man got their fight done. Like, shocks are meant to make things slower, meant to make things innit. Fury and Wilder were allegedly in court. That should mean that it should take them months to come to some sort of, or weeks to come to some sort of arrangement on the contract, innit? Bearing in mind, yeah, how fiddly Tyson Fury's been. 85-15. You're giving it all that for 6 months, nitpicking at all the problems he had. Bearing in mind, he's had all these problems for 6 months. You'd have thought, wait there a minute, Wilder, who he allegedly hates, how have they managed to get the contract done in 2 minutes? And Fury's had all the problems for 6 months. Don't make no sense. So anyway, end of the day, man. AJ's been hearing all this, and he's had enough of it. He's had enough of trying to play the game the right way. Now, again, some of you, man, will be thinking, YB, what's that got to do with the WBO? What does Fury and what does that stuff have to do with Usyk? Well, it all links in. Usyk's another one. Like, who are these organisations? AJ is trying to make the fight, yeah, undisputed, give the fans what they want. And not one of these governing bodies steps up and says, you know what, AJ, we're going to back your plight. Yeah? You know what, WBC? We're going to step up and say, next, Fury, Wilder, stop shitting yourselves and get in there. That's what we're going to do. We're going to order it. Because guess what? You had no problem ordering Dominic Bums Heel, did you? No problem ordering Wilder versus Fury 18. Yeah? All them goofy fights get done. No problem. Gets ordered. Fury comes back here, fights 2 bums, Panini and some next Don. WBC steps straight in, moves Dillian White, moves AJ, and says, yeah, we're ordering that. Wilder vs Fury 1, ordered. Out of nowhere, no problem doing that. Undisputed. Crickets. Not one belt steps up. Obviously AJ's got the 3, but not one Don steps up here and says, "Boom, we're gonna help. We're gonna get this on the road." So AJ's sitting back now, and the WBO come along. So AJ has just had the rug pulled from underneath him on Monday. Eddie Hearn and whatnot trying to get over the news, and the WBO's come to AJ and tell him, "Listen, you've got 48 hours, you've got 48 hours to agree with USUX. Otherwise, we're gonna do this. Otherwise, we're gonna do that." So AJ's hearing this, thinking to himself, "Wait a minute, we don't know." At that point, they didn't know. Well, they was hoping. Team AJ were hoping that Fury and whatnot were gonna try and come to some resolution so that the Fury fight could happen still with Wilder. That is, obviously at that point they didn't know that it's all one big cabal conspiracy. They didn't realise that the court case is all fake news, and Wilder and Fury have just been sitting there clout chasing for 6 months. Now they know that. Now they know it was all a big fake news operation with Team Wilder and Team Fury. There was no court case. It was just one big gas up for 18 months to try and create a Mayweather Pacquiao effect. Just clout chase, messy clout chasing equals brand awareness, or not brand awareness. It equals awareness. Bottom line, publicly speaking. Anyway, so like I was saying, AJ's just had the Wilder rug or the Fury rug pulled from underneath him. He's trying to get his head together, thoughts together. The last thing you'd think would happen then would be the WBO. Like, who are you? WBO come along and start putting their finger in everything. Again, at that point, AJ still thinks the Fury fight might be possible. WBO comes in and says, "No, it's not possible. We're ordering this, we're doing that, we're suing this, we're suing that." USUX as well himself, "Oh, we're going to sue anyway. No matter if this fight don't happen, we're suing." So AJ's sitting there hearing all this, and it makes him sour. And rightfully so, and he wouldn't mind, I'm hearing, AJ wouldn't mind if USUX, was someone who's been grinding for years and really proved himself, and he was a bona fide mandatory. He wouldn't mind so much. If you want your wig pushing back and you've earned for me to clap your cheeks, you've put yourself in a position where, you know what I'm saying, when I'm looking to stretch your back out for you, no problem. Your back can get stretched too. You're blowing up light heavyweight, no problem. AJ loves, that's how AJ likes his women. AJ likes his women nice and small, nice and light heavyweight looking asses. He loves them. He loves to stretch out a nice small don. Yeah? No doubt. So, you've got no problem doing that if you've earned it. What have you done? You went and got some goofy dons telling me, "Oh, YB, USUX proved it." Oh, what? He went undisputed against a bunch of bums? That cruiserweight division is full of bums. I'm sorry. What, Gassiev? Bum. What's he gonna... Not one of them dons USUX has beat you will go down anywhere in history. They're not even world level, truth be known. The first world level one to come along is Okoli. The rest of them are just real low tier dons. I'm afraid to tell you. So don't tell me about undisputed. Undisputed nothing is USUX. Yeah? He beat a bunch of D-level dons. And even then, he weren't knocking him cold, was he? My dog Okoli in there starching dons. Yeah? USUX going 50-50 life and death every time he goes in there. Anyway, Mr. Life and Death, Mr. Not a Lick of Power, steps up to heavyweight, goes 50-50 with some random bum, never heard of him. 7 rounds with him. Couldn't put him down, couldn't do squat. Then, goes in with Chisora. Obviously, Eddie Hearn pays off Chisora. To an extent, I do blame Eddie on that front. Eddie didn't understand the beast he was creating. He thought that, "Oh, you know what, I'm going to pay Chisora off, and then, USUX is the bigger fight, so I'm going to pay Chisora off as the journeyman, and then USUX is going to be on my side." He didn't realise that USUX is just that for USUX. So now you've paid Chisora off. What you should have done, Eddie, you should have paid Chisora. If you'd have told Chisora, "I'm going to give you $500,000 to knock this guy out," you best believe Chisora would have ran through USUX. But you messed up there. At the time, Eddie was doing the math thinking, "Well, you know what? The AJ versus Chisora, it's a smaller fight. It's not as big and whatnot. So I want USUX to win." Now look what you've done. But either way, it don't matter. We are where we are now. So yeah, like I was saying, USUX has done nothing to earn his position. He's done nothing to... He's got no justification, to be demanding and threatening lawsuits and got the WBO forcing people. After such a emotionally stressful time, from AJ's point of view, I'm hearing, for him to be going through an emotionally stressful time with the whole Fury thing, and for them to come along and talk about lawsuits and we're going to be doing this, we're going to be doing that, AJ's at the point now where he's saying to himself, "You know what, keep your crap belt." Yeah? And better yet, it's more so to do with USUX. USUX, it's the fact as well that USUX, he's been ordered back in February to fight Joe Joyce. Why haven't you done that? It's interesting. You talk about more money, fight. You've said you think you want to fight. Why aren't you fighting then, you sucks? Why are you sitting around begging? And that's another thing. AJ's sick of people sitting around and begging with their hand out, just begging and looking for stuff, not putting their work in. Fury sits around being scary. Wilder sits around. What have they been doing for 18 months? And before that, what have they been doing? Yeah, he's sick of it. You sucks. What have you been doing for 18 months? What? Fighting bums. That's what you've been doing and paying off Chisora. Going 50-50 with Chisora. Life and death you was in there going with him. You weren't doing nothing. Yeah? For you to be chatting, for you to be talking so hard, yeah, you sucks would have to have knocked Chisora out. That's the only way that AJ would be considering it right now. So AJ's sitting back, and you've got all this, he sees all the goofiness, and he's thinking to himself, why? What's the advantage, yeah, of AJ rushing in and fighting you sucks? Now again, people will say, oh, he's scared of him, and rah rah rah, but it's more about principle now, because for me, and also financially speaking, what's the benefit of AJ fighting you sucks now? He's a nobody. It makes much more sense commercially speaking, especially when I'm hearing that AJ and Team AJ themselves are seriously considering now the fact that the Fury and Wilder fights may never happen. So much like the Ruiz fight was somewhat manufactured. Remember, AJ and Fury and Wilder were meant to fight AJ after or before the first Ruiz fight. Them two dudes signed a 7-fight contract together, which kind of put AJ in a bit of a hole. He didn't have a big fight, so he then lost the Ruiz fight to make a big rematch. Bottom line, that's how it works out. They needed that big fight, and that's what ended up being. By losing to Ruiz, they created an equally as big, or not equally, but a big fight out of nowhere to tide AJ over. Now again, what fighting Usyk now? What for? He ain't done nothing. So from AJ's point of view, it makes much more sense. Let Usyk fight Joe Joyce. Let one of them two become a champion in their own right. And if AJ relinquishes the belt, yeah, by coming back around a year later, he ends up then fighting a champion. And a bona fide champion, because the winner of Joyce and Usyk, by them two fighting each other, they become bona fide. They're not just not Joe, because to be fair to him, he puts work in. Yeah, he lifting weights. Usyk just begging and crying, tired of it. So initially I thought, well, why don't you just fill Usyk in? But no, I disagree. I actually think AJ should do this. AJ, drop the WBO belt. Let Usyk fight Joe Joyce. Cause I don't like that. That really frustrates me. When you've been ordered to do something and you sit around talking about lawsuits, I tell you what, keep your crappy belt. Take it. Yeah? Because Usyk ain't going to want it then, is he? He only wants it because AJ's attached to it. So if I was advising AJ, I'd tell him, listen AJ, get the belt up and we can circle back round a year later. Yeah? We'll circle back round a year later, because guess what? AJ and Fury ain't going to fight you anyway. And even if they do, we'll circle. If magically Wilder and Fury change their mind and they decide not to fight 10 times in a row, we can then get the WBO belt just before. It's not a biggie. Trust me, people are always going to want a $10 million payday. So guess what? We know that Wilder and Fury can take 6 months to negotiate. The minute we start negotiations with Fury, we'll book the Usyk, we'll book the WBO winner fight. And boom, there it is. And by doing that, you've created a valuable champion. Because beating Usyk now, who's he to anyone? No one. It's much better to beat Usyk as a WBO champion. Because then, you take a belt, and yet it's a big event. Or it's a bigger event. And also, it'll be a better fighter. It'll be a better fight at least. Because at the moment, all you got people doing is holding their hands out and asking for things and making demands. And AJ's thinking, wait a minute, I'm the only one genuinely trying to make something here. Got a whole bag of dons with their hands open. And I'm the one being told you're going to get lawsuits and you're going to get stripped and what? That makes no sense. Tell you what, take your belt. Don't want it anyway. Because from AJ's point of view, yeah, having a belt just to swan around with, I'm 3-time champion. Unified is unified. Unless you're going to be undisputed, from AJ's point of view, what difference does it make? If he has 2 belts or 3 belts, it makes no difference. Especially not when people are trying to put, like, AJ's in the position in his career, yeah, he's got money. He ain't looking to do things because he's been told to do it. Does that make sense? He's going to do it because he wants to do it. It makes sense to him. Not because some goofy, blown up light heavyweight thinks he's going to be calling shots. And we had this last time as well. 6 months ago, the same thing happened. Usyk. Oh, the unit undisputed ain't going to happen. I want my shot now. I want my money now. Who does this guy think he is? Tell you what to do. And I wouldn't mind you. You know me. I've said many times before. Some people are just bad. Yeah, some people are just they're really grimy and they like to be, you know what I mean? They're really like that way inclined. If that was you sucks, yeah, if you was bad mind, yeah, and you was in there and you washed Joe Joyce, I'll be giving you all the credit. But you ain't. You're acting like you're a bad man. But guess what? When it comes to Joe Joyce, you scary, you missing. Yeah, you hiding, you be quiet. Because you've been, listen, you sucks have been quiet for 4 months. So ever since WBO ordered that fight, you sucks has been hiding out real quiet. Yeah, real quiet. Where's Mr. Big Mouth gone? Where's Mr. More Money gone? You ain't heard from him. So he ain't that hard, is he? Because if he was that hard, yeah, if you sucks was that hard and that on it, he'd have washed Joe Joyce already. Instead, he's been crying. It's funny, yeah. 2 weeks ago, when we thought the unified fight was happening, when we thought the undisputed fight was happening, there was a video came out of Joe Joyce's, of Usuk's manager, and he was saying, "Oh, money, oh," just crying. He was whining. He was, "Oh, Usuk." It's quite amazing to watch. Usuk's manager was crying for about 10 minutes straight. "Oh, it's not right. It's not this ain't right. It's that ain't right." Just whining about how scared he was to fight Joe Joyce. Amazing, really. It was quite an amazing piece of video to watch. And now, now he's all confident again. Much like Fury, to be fair. What was Fury saying? "Oh, well. Oh, I'm depressed. Oh," giving it all that he was a month ago. And now he's saying, "Oh, I want to tell everyone. I'm really happy. Oh, never been happier," has Fury. Same as Usuk's. Usuk's was all depressed and dreary and quiet. This fight happened, or Fury bottles it. And now we see what happens. There have all these rats coming out of the woods. So yeah, AJ, you're right. Vacate the belt. Vacate the belt and let people handle it. Let people start earning things around here. Because this whole, I'm just nicking belts and begging for paydays is not the look. And it's not good for the sport either. Because look at people like Billy Ho Saunders. Another one. Billy Ho Saunders nicks a belt and gets murked. Like, that can't be how champions... That's not how unification fights should be going down. Unification fights should be against bona fide champions. People who have beat someone for the belt. Not too... Billy was vacant. Some bum belt. Just nicked it from some jobber. Did Billy Ho. And that's why the fight weren't no good. That's why when people nick belts, they get hit once and they hop out because they're not certified fighters. And guess what? Joe Joyce reminds me of Andrade, Pupu Andrade. Pupu Andrade, he's happy to get in there. Yeah? Andrade wants to do what people are scared to do. Andrade was the one who said to Billy Ho, let me and you fight and then the winner fights Alvarez. That's how it should be. You don't nick a belt and then go fight unification fights. That's not how it should work. Not for the sport's sake. So you sucks, that applies to you. You haven't even got a belt. You're just hanging around, begging for things, trying to make demands. And for some reason, WBO, God knows what planet they're on, they think they got some leverage. AJ, hand that crap belt back anyway. Don't no one care about WBO. Hand it back. Hand it back and see. For me, it's about the power of it. It's the fact that people aren't grateful yet. If I had done nothing in the sport at heavyweight, even at cruiserweight, what's he done? If my name was Usuk, and I've done nothing in the sport at all, professionally speaking, had no Hall of Fame wins, I'll be saying, you know what, AJ, whenever you're ready, I'm just grateful to get the opportunity. I'm grateful to get paid. That's it. Keep your mouth shut. Or earn it. Like I said, I've got no problem with people being big mouths. If you're big mouths and you're handling your business, if you went in there and you filled Joe Joyce in for him, I'll be saying, you know what, talk your talk. But you're sitting out there, you've been quiet for 4 months, hanging around here scary, laying low, not wanting no attention, because you know Joe Joyce about to come and split your wig for you. Now all of a sudden, you're all empowered. No, WBO, you've already ordered what the fight is. How does that make sense? How can... To be fair, I do blame Joe Joyce's team. What's Sam Jones been doing? Big mouth Sam Jones has been talking every week about everyone else's fight. Meanwhile, his own fighter, who's had a fight ordered from February... Sam Jones, why are you going on IFL every other day, but your fighter can't get his work in? Yeah? Get off IFL TV and start making moves, big mouth. Can't stand big mouths who ain't good for nothing. Don't get me wrong, I've got no problem with Sam Jones being a big mouth, but again, do your job properly first. You've got these fighters not doing their job, but have a big mouth. Sam Jones, got a big mouth, not doing your job. What's wrong with everyone? Start doing your job and then start talking. Same as Fury, big mouth, not doing no work. Allegedly, trying to make legal cases to make things go away. It's goofy looking.